Okay, let's get it. We are back with another one, y'all. Okay, we are back with my guy, Dean Okai Senior. I want to say that's how you pronounce his name. It's O-K-A-I, okay? O-K-A-I. However, I came across another one of his videos. I just reviewed another video I saw him in, which was a podcast from the Powers Network. If you guys want to go over and check that video out that I reacted to, this one is very interesting. He's talking about how do you operate within is your programming gone to shit? And we're not talking about programming in the sense of like your computer and foolishness like that. We're talking about your programming as in what you're planning, how do you move, how do you operate, what is your core, you know, how does this move you forward, how does it keep you grounded? And it's very interesting, and I just saw maybe like 30 seconds of this, so I skimmed through it a little bit, and I found some parts that I thought was very interesting. And when he said this, it was super dope when he told the story here. So let's get into it, y'all.
Are you operating on a shit program? We are programmed by our teachers who understand the nature of human beings. You give us a gold star, we behave and we do what you want. I get another gold star. I want to beat my classmates and get another gold star. So I'm willing to give up who I am for my teacher who give me a gold star. Now, if I really challenge my teacher, not even being rude to my teacher, and my teacher feels challenged, they will just say, Dean, go outside the classroom. Mm-hmm. So it comes down to the balance of how much I am willing to be out of the classroom and how many gold stars I want.
Yeah.
Now, there was something that happened in my school where a teacher named Miss Rowe in 1983 told me to go and stand in the corner. Mm-hmm. And before I went and stood in the corner, I picked 13 gold stars off the star chart and I rinsed them under my foot. And the closest person to me had 8 stars. I'm very competitive. You know, like we shouldn't really keep...
If you don't know what rinse mean, for the people that's not like, kind of like Jamaican or like, you know, from the UK, rinse mean you kind of throw it away, or you're like, you rinse either... Like rinse would be like throw, so like throw it away. So you like throw it under this foot. Okay.
These things in our mind,
yeah.
Sorry, but I'm always competing. I'm always watching. Even today,
like
if I were to go into a particular industry, and somebody else were in that industry, you know, I use them as a measure.
Yeah.
And I say,
makes sense.
But with my business experience, I'm better than you. I did this. I know someone who was selling clothes, and then I said, I'm going in the clothes thing.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna take them out, and then I took them over and said, no, I took you over. In my head.
Yeah.
Didn't need to say it out there.
Yeah.
So I'm very competitive. I'm aware of my environment completely.
Yeah.
So within that, I peeled off those stars, rinsed them in the floor, and I'm now screwing her before I turn around in the corner. But what I realize is I didn't need any external validation after that. I wasn't looking for anybody. And that was the beginning for me, because there was something else I used to do. I would always, for some reason, get to school late and miss swimming. But I used to have this little Puma bag. So then I would go in the stockroom, help myself to barrel pens, Brit stick, pack of books, because I used to draw copiously.
Yeah.
And I would just do that to make up for how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, even at that young age, I was living totally outside of the system.
Yeah.
And how I was thinking led me to be unmanageable, because even as they were saying things, even if I seemed compliant, it was based on my interest that I didn't want to get in trouble with my mum.
Yeah.
It was nothing
Oh man, he sounds like me. This is definitely me right here. Oh my God. Like that was like I hold my parents in high regard, especially my mom at that time. Like, I don't want to hear her mouth. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to do none of that. Like I just want to be the kid that I'm supposed to be. You ain't supposed to know about the bullshit that I'm doing, and I'm trying to keep it that way.
Do with their influence. So I lived outside of the system since I was like 8 years old. But it's not a concept I could ever comprehend. You understand?
Yeah.
One, I didn't know I was being programmed, or we were being programmed. I didn't know I was resistant to it based on the interpretation of my spirit voices, having conversations about this woman where I'm looking and saying, she's a basic bitch and I'm only 9 years old. Why is he having these kind of monologues in his head, looking at the teacher? But that's how I was from then. And I realized that it was a spiritual resistance.
Yeah.
And I realized that the operating system that I came with couldn't be imprinted on.
Yeah.
And thereby we're the anomalies. And that's why the homosexual transvestite J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America.
Wait, J. Edgar Hoover allegedly was a trans? I didn't. So that's a woman. That's a woman.
Is the Black Moses.
Yeah.
And I understand it. And I actually make him right. Because if we can take from being nowhere on an exceptional program and make something, remember the first time children in America were getting a free breakfast who were poor was from black teenagers.
Yeah.
The Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we can do that, how could you ever let us rise to compete with you who can't do that systematically? But black teenagers figured out how to feed poor black children and white children
They were
systematically.
teens. Damn, they were teens.
I understand why they fight us. I don't ask what we did. We didn't do anything.
No. You just got to know who we are.
It's who we are.
Yeah.
So do we operate on a shit operating system?
So when you say operating system, because a lot of people throw around the word
Terms.
throw these terms
Absolutely.
around,
Yeah.
and they throw around the term programming
Absolutely.
very lightly and
Loosely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like no one even explains what programming is. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what for me, like I have my own understanding, and like what's your understanding of
Programming.
the initial programming? What?
So I have family members, when I say certain things, shut up, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I say, you know,
Not even just family members, friends, people around, all like, oh my God, boy.
even willing to have an intellectual conversation about something. I don't want to know.
Nope.
Yeah, there's a
They
big-
scared.
I can't remember what
They
it is.
terrified.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
So you wouldn't want to speak about 9/11 and it possibly being an inside job. I get it, no problem. I don't feel compelled to convince you.
Yeah.
If I were to say that the Irish Republican Army were freedom fighters because previously the British Army would break into a house and rape a man's wife in front of him and just take her upstairs with the children, or kill people like they kill blacks in the States, or they used to kill us in the 70s because this is who England are as part of their occupation. No, I don't want to hear that. They're terrorists. I say, but soldiers protect their own borders, right?
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a military, it's because you didn't need a military. And if you have a military that's in somebody else's land, and you're the invader, then you're the bad guy. It's like when they were calling the Iraqis insurgents. No, they're counter-insurgents.
Yeah.
You're insurgents. They're counter-insurgents. So what you're doing is you're inverting terms to make them fit you. Now, for all the people who are programmed and propagated to receive you as an authority, well, they just take it, spoon-fed. All these insurgents, they're leaving bombs for our soldiers. I say, hold on. Iraq is 7,000 miles away from Britain. And Iraq is no threat to Britain.
Yeah.
Iraq was under a trade embargo for 14 years, which means they had no money and no possibility of creating any weapons of mass destruction. Thereby, they don't have them. In fact, I'm quietly confident that Iraq's weapons of mass destruction are in Hamas tunnels. They're in the same place. They don't exist. So when I talk about shit programming, does your operating system incorporate independent thought, or are you willing to adopt in the same way that we believed we were getting an education when we were being indoctrinated, as you will watch the news like it's 1983 when everything was sunny and we were a little bit greener, and you just used to believe everything they said. Because in 1986, when I watched the news and President Reagan said, just say no, I believed him. But that's before I realized that he was actually bringing in the coke that was making the crack via his tool, Oliver North, the general who took the conviction for him, that they call plausible deniability. So now I ask, are you operating on a shit operating system?
100%.
So,
but when we say operating system, we have to go as deep as codes.
Absolutely, because your operating system is informed by lines of code every day. You know, so I imagine you would say educated in school for 15 years. Now I'm saying you're programmed. So the first thing that happens is we deal with looking at the royal family lineage of England.
I'd say before that even. I say like,
please,
let's talk about, like you said, let's go into the education.
Before
we leave that. And let's go into the alphabet. So the alphabet is part of the coding.
Absolutely.
Especially the English alphabet.
The Western, absolutely.
The Western alphabet. So how the A, B, C, D, and how we look at it, even to the tone of the song, the key the song's in the same key as Baba Black Sheep, Happy Ready. You know what I mean? It's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So all the same.
With this?
Even the melodies that you're learning. And so it's like, it's part of the programming. Then you've got the maths. And you've got the fact that we start counting from 1, which is throwing off the real programming in the first place.
The zero.
You know what I'm saying?
How much of 0 makes 1?
So because 10 still exists, and so does 20.
The concept of 0 and 1, because there isn't nothing.
Exactly.
There's something.
Because 10 is something.
Absolutely.
So as long as 10 is something and 20
then 0 is something.
0 is something.
Absolutely.
Computer codes are binary codes of zeros and ones.
Yo, I've never heard of this. Have y'all ever heard of this before? I've never heard this like in the sense of how they're breaking this down. This is very interesting. If 0 is nothing, then why is 10, 20, and every other number that they have a 0 behind it something? Oh,
there you go, 0s and 1s. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's the coding that we forget that's the initial coding of our programming.
So first it contains
how
we comprehend learning.
And then language.
And then language. And then it's incorporated to become behavioral. So on that behavioral point, I remember I went to one of my son's assemblies, and all the kids, so they're sitting down with their cross leg, and all the kids are talking. You know when you hear that? And you got all layers of voices. And watch what the teacher did. And I saw, zoom. All the heads turned around, face the front, silence. And all the parents, we looked at each other like this.
How she got that much control? We got that much control.
And then when all the kids, they had their attention and they're all front, and they had this docile look on their face. And I looked at my son, I said, nah, we got to break that. And the teacher did this again. And then they sat up, and then she started talking. Silence. She didn't say be quiet like this, guys. No, she just, and it was like Malcolm X went,
when he did.
So that is actually a tool that they have in schools now, which is behavioral. So when I say we are being programmed to serve the status quo
and understand things in a certain way, that's why I say with like where even when I say they give us the wrong color, they tell you you're black, you just take that. They'll tell them they're white and they just take that. They'll tell people whatever they want to tell them.
But white only exists because we have to be black.
I hear what you're saying, but even just in terms of the way they look, the way they describe skin color is totally off anyway. So, but they don't like to talk about melanin because they don't want you to know about melanin. So they would rather, and so and everyone's got melanin. It's just how much you.
It's the degree. And the more melanin you have, the better you absorb the elements, whether it is the sun, whether it is color spectrum.
That's also if you're willing.
If you're willing.
Because it's like,
of course.
People talk about it like you're just special if you got better.
No, you're not. You have to be aware.
And you have to tap into it. It doesn't, everybody ain't a king, everybody ain't a queen. It got to be some core gestures. It got to be some some barbers, it got to be some gardeners, it have to be a social work. It got to be different. Everybody is not the king. Everybody not the president. Everybody not the top of the top. Everybody's not the boss. Everybody just ain't capable. It's just not possible. And I'm tired of living in this world where they thinking everybody is fucking equal. We're not all equal. We are not. Oh, the only thing that makes us equal is our body parts and other things like that. But mindset wise, we're not all equal. There are people that are inclined to do things better than others. So we're not all equal, especially the people that apply themselves even more when they have God-given talent, and then they put more on top of it by studying, by practicing, by putting in the 10,000 hours like we speak about all the time. And all of those things make them who they are.
I'd be working with it. Because if you weren't getting your vitamin D and you weren't aware of the things that actually benefit melanin,
That's right.
all you are is a calcified dog.
Yeah,
and what the animals do, they eat, sleep, shit. And fuck.
That's it.
So, and it's the programming of what value.
Yeah.
What is of value. So like a lot of people hold things of value in the wrong place.
That don't have value. Yeah.
That have no value.
Yeah.
So that the things that have zero value are in the highest place. And it's like even when we can constantly buy everything that we ever want, and
It won't fill the hole.
And we went at what point are we gonna just, because we realized that we would buy it, and we realized that we get the car, we go on the holiday, we get the girl.
That's not it.
Like,
I'm not full.
so as long as like they can sell you this life, they can sell you stuff.
And herein lies the point.
Of the programming.
At some point, if you have unlearned, you have to turn your, well, it's not have to, because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But what happens as a byproduct of you applying your own programming is you turn your back on what they call their values.
Exactly.
And then what you value, they look at as nothing. And now you're not competing with them anymore.
But when they say they, who are we referring to? Because
The programmer.
I'll tell you very clearly who
the
I'm
programmer.
referring
let me
to.
say why I say that.
Please.
Because when you talk about value, a lot within our culture, what we value within our culture isn't what the other people value.
Absolutely.
So they don't mind. They could be rich and they'll be on public transport.
Yeah.
Like they could be rich and wear the cheapest clothes.
And a man is killing himself to turn up in the hottest whip. And
So it's what-
doesn't have the luxury and comfort that they have at the other end.
You know, they'll buy beer while we buy bottles. If you get what I'm saying. So I'm just saying.
The
Like,
most expensive bottle for the eye.
yeah. But
Quite bizarre.
So I'm like, cool. And
Do you drink that?
I don't knock that anyway. Like whatever, like floats your boat or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, because I don't like to criticize people like you shouldn't do this. Because you know people say if you haven't got enough,
You
money,
got to do what you enjoy.
yeah, don't do this.
And if you
Don't-
want to spunk money,
Do your
that's
thing.
okay. But
That's-
you got to sit in the tree afterwards.
no, but
All right, yeah, we're gonna end it right here, y'all. I'm not even gonna give y'all the whole. If y'all want to go over to his page and his channel, it's Dean Okaya. Please, I hope I'm not butchering this gentleman's name. Dean Okaya Senior is what his channel is. OKAI. I'm gonna try to put it down in the description below. Sometimes I forget. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'll be try to pump out a lot of videos. But to his last point, and I'm gonna go into a couple other points, but to his last point, when he's talking about how, you know, there's other people that would kill themselves to go out and go get maybe a Bentley or a mansion, whatever the case may be, just to live up to the Joneses or whatever the case may be, because they think that's the quality of life, because we've been programmed to think that value is just of money and it's not of integrity of your character or how, you know what I'm saying, and all those different things and legacy and all of those different things. And I've worked in different places where I've cleaned the bathrooms of multi-million-dollar homes. I've cleaned I'm not clean. I'm sorry. I've been in homes where you're like, there's no way that nobody should live there. I've worked as a security guard at a golf course where, you know, it's not even, I'm sorry, not a golf course. It's a golf, damn near like a golf community where it's just different golf courses all over the place and they kind of connect to each other. But matter of fact, it's at one of the biggest golf courses in the state, in Jacksonville, which is PGA. So I don't mind saying that because I don't work there no more. So, but you know, I had those opportunities to see how those people live and to see the cars that they drive. Like it's rare to see a very high-end car there. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, and if you do, they got one and it's probably tucked off in the garage that they pull out every once in a while. But for the most part, those homes, you look outside of there, they got their regular cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. These cars, you know, maybe $40,000-$50,000, but still, they have a regular. They don't have the $300,000, you know, all this stuff that the rappers be getting, the Maybachs. I didn't see none of that. And these are $1 million homes, multi-million-dollar homes, huge, beautiful homes. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to know that we've been programmed, and I've learned over the years, and even myself, who's been a person, like I love sneakers, and I haven't been programmed to love sneakers, but I programmed myself to where I was buying so many sneakers that I thought I needed 200 pairs of sneakers. I'm down to maybe 60, maybe 70 pairs of sneakers, and even people look at me crazy, and they be like, "Damn, you got how many? Why do you need that many pairs of sneakers?" It's just a mental thing for me, but there was a time where I did program myself to be like, nah, I gotta not really keep up with the Jones, but like, I need that. And I had to just pull back, and I sold a lot of the things and all those different things, even with collectibles, same thing. You get what I mean? But you know, that even now, as the man that I am now, I'm programming myself to just be steadfast and know that what I strive for is I need to keep doing that. You know, there was a time where it was like, for a good, I'm gonna say 30 years of my life, you know, from the time I was born all the way up till I was 30, I would say I chased not chased, but I looked at, I needed to be in the music industry, point blank. Like I needed to be the artist, I needed to be the producer, I needed to be, you know what I mean? I never thought about videography and none of that stuff came later. You know, all this stuff came, I kind of just pivoted and learned, and you know, I always was interested in these things in the sense of like, let's say, give you a quick, like I'm watching a different world back in the day, and I'm like, oh, why does this camera work look different on a different world? But when you watch Martin, it looks totally different. This look is totally different. The feel is totally different, and then this feel is totally different. The lighting is totally different. Like the pacing, all of those different things, and I always kept those things within me, and when I got older, that's when I started to, you know, research and all of those things. There's people that might look at me and be like, man, this dude watch YouTube all the damn time. Yes, I do, and I'm gonna continue to, because it taught me so much. I didn't have to go to school for a lot of this stuff. Everything that I'm doing right now, you know, if you see my little setup that I'm doing right now, like I never thought I'd be doing this. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? So my program is learning how to pivot, and that pivot is so important, and it's so important that to keep that pivot so grounded as well. You get what I'm saying? Like to be on your pivot to the point where, you know, no matter what, you can still maneuver. You can still get back to where you started. So yeah, man, this was a cool one, man. I would love to have a conversation with this guy, because I think the same, and I'm very much disciplined within myself like he is. I haven't reached all of the goals that I wanted to, in the sense of financially, but everything else, man, I got so many accolades, it's not even funny. And I don't even brag and boast about a lot of things, but those accolades are really mostly for me. It's not about everybody else. Everybody else is whatever. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man, and hit the notification bell, because if not, you gonna die.
I'm telling you, you don't wanna